What's up, everyone? It's Lord Vapors with Dracomar, and now it's time for an episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. In the last episode, we reached the Forest Temple, and we killed a lot of moblins that were not watching out for people sniping with hookshots. And in this episode, we were climbing these very elaborate, awesome-looking vines, and shooting this good spatula on the wall, and taking a little bit of time trying to aim and shoot and score the good spatula. Yes. So we're gonna be going across this thin log that's pretty difficult to walk across, and trying not to fall off. And then we get we get a small key. And there's these interesting trees, and we land, and we're gonna roll away from these wolfos. Wolfos also guard a lot if you plan to fight them. However, I don't plan to fight them because it's not necessary. We're gonna be hookshotting this spider and going into our biggest dungeon yet. Yes, and going through these interesting crosshatch doors. And suddenly, we go into the main room with the 4 women of the dungeon. Joelle, Amy, Meg, and Beth. Joelle's the orange po, Amy is the green po, the purple one is Meg, and the blue one is Beth. Each will go to a respective corner of the dungeon. Yes. So basically, they remove the torches that you need to get to the bottom area of the dungeon. So we're going to be shielding this blue bubble and attacking it and destroying it. We want to shield it so it doesn't cause too much trouble. And we'll be going over to first enemy, big enemies. Major enemies, Stalfos. We're going to be slashing at them, and they're going to be jump striking at our face and doing regular slashes, but mostly jump strikes. They're going to jump strike. Very explosive jump strike. Okay, your regular slash, you're going to go with jump strike. And jump strike! They love the jump strike and the shielding. They're guarding. Okay, they're going to use regular slash and jump strike. And using a spin attack, we finish him off! Epic finish! Boom! Anyway, so now the mystical sparkles appear! And the chest appears! Yes, the chest appears! I had a lot of one Mackenzie, and that is the epic destruction of the Stalfos. And I'm out of hello, anyway, so we're going to be going further through the dungeon and getting the good spatula. The good spatula. Okay, and hookshotting it. Anyway, so we're gonna be going further through the dungeon. With the 5 torches. And now that we have 2 keys, we are going to go further and get a 3rd key by locking onto this and playing the Song of Time, which is right A down, right A down. Yes. And with that, the block suddenly vanishes into the ether and becomes weird in the mind. Okay, I do that way too much. Okay, so we're gonna be fighting the giant evil plant of doom, and the plant is gonna be weird, and we're gonna slash at it and jump strike it. And there's an Octorok. It's going to do something. It's gonna do something. It's gonna fly nuts. It's gonna become nuts. Anyway, we're gonna be shooting these spiders, and one of them really is going to become nuts! Anyway, Deku nuts! So, we're going to be climbing these interesting vines. These vines are very divine and weird, and they're like the vines you see on cottages, and I'm pausing here because this spatula is doing something, and it's gonna damage boost us onto the ledge through the weird door. Oh no! Bars! It's a bubble! It's a bubble! And now, suddenly, a chest appears! Once we destroy the bubble! And the chest has an item in it. You know it does! It has a dungeon map! with interesting little grooves on it. And if you press start on there, blue chambers are places you've already visited. Your current location is the flashing room. Move the control stick up and down, select a forward view. The reason why I'm showing that is because this is the first dungeon where the dungeon map truly counts, because this dungeon is relatively complex. There are, though, areas of this dungeon that are not delineated by the dungeon map that you will have to use other methods to see. So first we're going to be aiming our hook shot at that target and pressing this switch. This switch is going to lead into the lower part of the forest temple. This interesting grassy fields, this interesting grassy portion that contains the evil plant. Anyway, we're going to be getting Deku sticks, which could be useful in other dungeons. You never know! Anyway, so we're going to be going underneath the ground through this interesting subterranean passage with these designs on it. I have been studying Street Fighter, of course, as well as, well, not as much Tekken as Street Fighter. I've really been trying to hoof it with all the different characters, including Dudley and stuff. I want to show those characters off and do them decent. So we're climbing these awesome cottage-like vines again. And we see the plants! The jump strike the giant plants! Now the giant plants are everywhere! Oh no! Oh no, the plants! It's a plant. It's a plant fees. Anyway, I'm going to be pausing because I was going to be doing something for fees. And now that we have the 3 keys, now, why did we get the 3 keys? The 3 keys are because this dungeon is full of locked doors. Full of them. This is our first dungeon that is full of locked doors. So, we're going to be going through here, this interesting hallway with these nice candles. These nice glowing, ominous candles! And then the bubble that's flying around desperately after the flames have been extinguished by the shield! The shield! Anyway, we're going to be climbing these ladders. I'm still trying to learn plenty of matchups and stuff. I'm going to be finishing my novel soon. I've been trying to learn French. Français. And, it's been quite the struggle. I definitely remember, I don't know if this is right. Salute, j'aime appelé is hello, my name is. I think it is, anyway. So we're going to be pulling out that block and pushing this block into place. These blocks are pretty slow to push, so they're pretty tedious. And I'm taking a good look around to try to remember the exact order of where all these blocks go. Now, we're going to be going around and pushing, or at least that's one little bit of French. Anyway, we're pushing this block over into this gap in the ground. There are other dungeons that have tedious things like this, including Tower of Spirits and Spirit Track, so it's not too much of a problem. So we're going to be pulling this block over here. It's a bit of a puzzle, you see. You want to make sure that the blocks get into these grooves by following these arrows on the floor. Now, once you've completed this, and you do have to go around, you do have to use that ladder. You make a kind of concentric staircase by which you get to the upper level of the dungeon. Now we can go back here and push this block because you can't pull it entirely over there because Link is not infinitely thin. So, because you have to be infinitely thin to pull the block all the way in. Even then, that wouldn't work because you'd get squished. You know, because you're a person or a human or whatever. Like, you'd, like, instantly die, maybe. Because, like, the pressure of it would destroy you. Or maybe it would do 4 hearts of damage. I'm not sure. I'm just making a hypothetical situation just to make this more interesting. And we are going to be climbing this ladder. Yes, this ladder. And going in. And we're going to be shielding these bubbles and slashing at them. These bubbles are, you know, they hop around. They do bubble things, like be annoying in the face. And we're going to be opening this door and going through this hallway. And Navi's going to tell us that the torno is all twisted. I also learned today that spamming counter is good for Dudley, but that's besides the point. Anyway, so we're going to be going through this hallway, this twisted hallway, and we're going to be jumping those. I once saw a race where they had to like side hop and stuff. They had to use strategies because they couldn't jump over those simple gaps. So I'm getting my bearings here, and then we're going to be going into this room. After that, the room with Joel in it, the orange Po, and we're going to be fighting Stalfos. We're going to be shielding. We're going to shield that. We're going to do a regular slash, and then we're going to slash from behind. And we're going to shield that and do a spin attack. And then we're going to shield that and do another spin attack of a spectacularness. And then a stab. Yes, stab. And then the giant platform comes down, and then 2 Stalfos appear. We're gonna lock on. We're gonna do a slash. Oh, he got me. He got me. And then we're gonna slash and block, and then we're gonna do another. We're gonna do another block, and then a spin attack. We're watching his shield. He's gonna do a double slash instead of a single slash, and then he's gonna be strafing around. And then a shield, and then I do a jump strike, like he does, and then. We're gonna strafing, we're gonna shield and strafe, and then we're gonna slash at him, and then he's gonna jump strike, and I'm gonna slash and shield that, and I'm gonna slash at that, and do some more strafing, and then jump strike to doom, and then we have a heart floating over our head. Weird N64 heart. Anyway, now after the epic battle of doom, we get to open a chest. And in the chest is a fairy bow! Yes, the spectacular, the truly spectacular fairy bow get! Yes! And with this, we can equip it to sea and let fly with an arrow! Yes, an arrow. And then suddenly, it turns my chronic. And weird? No, it's weird. Anyway, we're gonna be using our arrow and shooting Joelle the Po in her first portrait. And then in another portrait that's downstairs, aim and fire! And then the last portrait to oust Joelle from her portrait. Teleportation. And then there are 3 portraits that she lives in. She's gonna turn invisible. And we're going to equip the Deku Nuts! Use the Deku Nut to make her visible and jump strike! And then use another Deku Nut. And then spin attack! And a jump strike and use a Deku Nut! And use regular slashes! And Joelle is defeated! In an epic battle of wits! And then... And Deku Nuts, mostly Deku Nuts. We're going to get the arrow and open the chest and get a key! Key that leads to another door. And then we're going to go further into the dungeon. Suddenly dragons appear now. And then we're going to be going further. And there's going to be Beth the Po! We're gonna aim and fire! Fire! And then they're going to be Beth the Po. She has a weird, mystical blue lantern. And then suddenly we can turn her about face and shoot the mystical lantern! And suddenly Beth appears! And then she suddenly appears in a weird mystery movie. We'll be shielding, and then using the Deku Nut, and another slash, and a Deku Nut, and jump strike, and then use a Deku Nut and a jump strike, and suddenly she explodes from the damage, and a torch appears, and a chest appears, and within the chest, we get the arrows from try to get the item within the chest, and then suddenly, when we open the chest, we get the compass. Next time on Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we are going to go further through the Forest Temple. See you guys then.